What is up, guys? It is me, Real American Politics, back again with a new video. And today, we're taking a look at the future of blank series, finally back after a hiatus. And today, we'll be taking a look at one of the more intriguing Midwestern Rust Belt states in Michigan. Now, based on what you're seeing, you would think automatically it should be lean Republican, yada yada yada. Something odd happens in Michigan where it doesn't necessarily mean it's lean Republican just because of Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Now, is it demographically favorable to Republicans? Find out. But before we start this video, hope you guys do enjoy these type of videos. If you guys did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes, let us try to hit 200 likes this video. Let us try to hit, let's try to get to 8,400 subs by the end of the month. That would be appreciated. And yes, so Michigan, this is the one state where we have a lot to discuss, because this is a state where you look at a lot of demographics, you look at a lot of data. It should be a favorable state to Republicans, but so far as of now, we gotta debate that. So when you take a look at Michigan by county, and the first thing you see is Detroit, alright? Wayne County, this is where Detroit is. Everybody knows Detroit. A lot of memes about Detroit. Can't have anything nice in Detroit. All those memes, yada 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 yada. Well, here's the thing though about Detroit. It's Wayne County, I should say. It is not the most democratic county in the state of Michigan. Yeah, it isn't. It has Detroit in it. There's a certain county, just one county over, where Ann Arbor is. Just look at the margins. A 38% win for Biden to, let's see here, 46% win for Biden. Can you see why this state is a very intriguing state to look at? Now, does this mean that, Michigan is not going to be Republican in the future, yada 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 yada? No. But what it does show you is Michigan may be one of the first states in the nation that we're going to start seeing this more, of the more urban counties, like Wayne County, being more Republican than places like where Ann Arbor is, Washington County. And this is just one example, but you're going to eventually see this in a lot of other places. Possibly in Illinois, you could possibly see Cook County, where Chicago is, being more Republican in the suburbs. It's a weird shift, but it's looking like it may happen. Now, this is, again, the one state where it just flips upside down what you would think. I mean, you go to Macomb County, it's a working class county, or suburb, I should say, of Wayne County. Trump got around, beat Biden by 8%. I think that's a bit better than it was in 2016, if not just tiny bit worse. So, Republicans actually have ground in the suburbs, as well in Wayne County, where Trump is actually making improvements, where Detroit is especially. But again, the only issue is where Ann Arbor, that's going to be one of the biggest issues with this state. I mean, it's voting left of a city like Detroit. And again, there's memes about Detroit. Folks, there's so many memes about it's too good, but this tells you about pretty much everything you need to know about this part of Michigan. Now, you just go up to Flint County, where Flint is, Genesee County, and Biden only won this by 8%. This is a more working class, quote-unquote, urban area. And you're noticing, again, a lot of this part of the state, especially the southern half, that a lot of these more urban, in quotes, areas are way more Republican than these suburbs, these wokeness suburbs, in quotes. It's very college-educated votes in places where Ann Arbor is, while Flint County, where Genesee County is, more working class compared to the rest of the state. So, again, this is another thing you're going to continuously notice with a state like Michigan, that the more urban areas are actually more Republican than the suburbs, to an extent. It's weird, but it's going to eventually happen in the future, in my opinion. Those pure suburbs, like the Philly suburbs, I think they're going to vote left of the urban areas eventually. Now, that's just my opinion, but some data is indicating that it's eventually going to flip, where urban areas like Chicago, Philly, Atlanta possibly, could kind of flip upside down with the suburbs. It's weird, but that's what it's slowly trending into. Now, we got to look at where Grand Rapids is, because this is the one fear with Michigan that everybody's worried about. The Grand Rapids area, where Kent County is. Biden won this by 6%. Let me just say this for a fact. I look at the precinct data. Something odd did happen in Kent County. Now, I still think Biden probably won Kent County, but to swing it by 9 points and magically get so many extra votes, it's like, if you won it by 1%, makes more sense than wins it by 6. Okay? So, Grand Rapids has always been more Republican stronghold. And Trump was obviously going to do a little bit worse in the Grand Rapids area. And he did. He did worse in Kent County, did worse in Ottawa. But did a little bit better in Muskegon County, which is a bit more working class than the other two. So that's why he did a little bit better in Muskegon this time around. I mean, it's probably going to flip in 2022, 2024. So this is another part of the state you're noticing shifts. That the more exurban parts of Grand Rapids is continuing to gain more Republican. And suburbs like Ottawa County is going to slowly trend Democrat, but I still believe it's going to be kind of like Waukesha. If not a little bit more left of Waukesha. It's still going to be Republican, but not like titanium Republican. Republicans win by 50% crap anymore. Well, Muskegon County, I do believe, will eventually vote majority Republican. It's still going to probably be like 4 or 5 years before that happens. So that is just the southern half of the state in a nutshell. Again, I know I went pretty fast with it, but it's just funny to see these more urban areas vote more Republican based on precinct data than more suburban areas. It's weird, I know, but that's the southern half of the state in a nutshell. Now, I wanted to look at everything north, all of this, because this is a topic on itself. Now, you got the southern half of the state. Clear divide between working class areas and more exurban versus suburbs areas. You get the point which counties are like that. Bigger cities like Detroit, Ann Arbor. Very weird demographics considering that Wayne County's voting to the right of a suburb where Detroit is. It's weird, I know, but you get the point that the divide between working class areas and college graduate areas, pretty strong. But then you get to the northern half of the state. And this is the reason that Trump realistically lost the state. Now, he lost by 150,000 votes. Sure, some stuff may have happened in Grand Rapids, some stuff may have happened in Ann Arbor, Detroit maybe, where Flint is, maybe. But the biggest reason that Trump lost, my opinion is, folks, these are pathetic numbers in the northern half of the state. I mean, just go to Isabel County. 50%, yep, 56%, 55%. Mason County, 59%, 56%, 54%. You're noticing a trend that these light red areas in more rural, exurban parts of the state, way more rural than the southern half of the state. And again, you got some counties like Lynn County, Grand Traverse County. They're more establishment counties, so you can really kind of ignore like 2 of these counties up here. But still, Trump should be getting 70, 75, maybe 80% of the vote in a lot of these counties, especially in the Upper Peninsula. Yes, there's not a lot of votes, but folks, these votes add up quickly. I mean, Marquette County, sure, it's a bit more college educated, but Trump still should have got like 45%. You look at Houghton County, should have got 70%. I mean, a lot of these places, he should be cracking 70, 80%, in particular in the Upper Peninsula. And when you add up all the math, he still would have probably lost the state by like 50, 60,000 votes. But again, you just go south of it, more working class parts of the state, same thing. He should be getting 70, 75% of the vote in this part of the state. This is a more working class, traditional Republican part of the state. This has traditionally always been more Republican, but is way more working class than you would think. And Trump, with that combination, he should have gotten 70, 75% of the vote in this part of the state. He underperformed by around 4 or 5 points with working class voters in most of the state. Now, places like Clare County, Osceola County, etc., he got the 70% he needed. Good. But he should have gotten way more in most of these other counties. And again, they're not that many votes, but when you add them up, Republicans should be maxing out in a lot of these parts of the state. And I do believe with working class trends continuously to favor Republicans, they will swing more Republican. I mean, the middle part of the state did make a huge shift to the right. And I do believe the Upper Peninsula will have a huge shift 2024. And I do believe Wayne County, Macomb County, Monroe County, Wayne County, Jackson County, demographically, they're way more favorable to Republicans. I do believe they'll continue their shift to Republican. Now, before I give a judgment on this, what can Republicans do to try to rebuild Kent County's, somewhat more Republican stance, all right? And say Ottawa County, do a little bit better in places like Ingram, do maybe slightly better in Washington County. Well, put it this, education, education, education. When the Republicans do win the 2022 Michigan governor race, the first thing they should do is education reform heavily in the state. Folks, this is the biggest reason that these suburbs, especially in Michigan, are swinging so left. I mean, there's lunatics running these school districts, especially Ann Arbor. You want some bad school districts, or school boards, I should say, go to Ann Arbor. Grand Rapids, not too far behind. There are some bad people running these boards, and there's education reform needed everywhere, but you can salvage some votes in places like Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, even do a little bit better in Flint if you push for education reform. I mean, that's huge in a lot of these counties. I mean, Ann Arbor, folks, I know that, Wayne County's way more working class, but guys, it's bad when Detroit is voting to the right of you by like 12 points. That is usually not a good sign that your county is that good. I mean, that's pathetic. I mean, that's a big reason why Republicans should be pushing for more education reform. And again, that's just one solution. Being more economically populous will help you with everybody. Now, what is the final verdict on this? Well, personally, let's put it this way. If Republicans do all of that, right, I believe it could be a tilt Republican state. If they did all the education reform, continue their march to pure economic populism. But what do I honestly think that the future of Michigan is going to look like? I do believe it will look like a tilt D state for a while, right? For a couple of years. It's going to be like sometimes it may go Republican, but most years you could probably expect to go Democrat by like 1 or 2 points. And that may seem crazy, but just as of now, Republicans need to make a lot of work to make up some ground in the southern half of the state. And they got to continue with their working class message in the northern half of the state to run up the votes. So yes, Republicans can make improvements to the state. There's a lot of places to improve upon, but also they got to slow down the cancerous growth in Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, lesser extent Flint, which is actually trending Republican. But yes, mostly Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids. Republicans need to do something to hold these two counties, to try to swing them a couple points Republican. That is the biggest issue with the state. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.